So I'm here today with Rochelle White from the Rochelle White Agency. My name's Peter Borg, and I'm doing this conversation just before the reopening of hopefully the UK on early March the 2nd, 2021. And I've got Rochelle White with me at the moment. So Rochelle, tell me a little bit about you. Who's Rochelle White?
So I'm Rochelle White and I own Rochelle White Agency. About me, I am mid-30s, going to be. Love music. I love being creative. I love tattoos. I love piercings. I love festivals, live music, food. Very simple person. Basically food, music makes me happy. About me, I have been working in marketing and PR now for I would probably say in total like 15 years, because I also class working abroad from 18 to 26. My work experience within working in PR and marketing, because effectively that's what I did when I was abroad. Also worked in events over there. Which I absolutely loved. I'd probably say that's when my career probably started, but at the time I just loved going on holiday, meeting people and being like the street PR. Although I actually worked with the big nightclubs, I worked with talent, DJs. So I think looking back, that was probably the start of how I got to where I am, but I just treated it as a working holiday. I actually went to university quite late, when at 23. Fun fact about me, I'm actually fully qualified hairdresser and beautician, which a lot of people don't know. And I also can do spray tans and individual eyelashes. Figure that out, because I thought I wanted to be a hairdresser, but that didn't quite work out. So I've got a lot of qualifications. So effectively I went from GCSEs to nothing, uni, to then having eyelashes, then tanning, then hair, and then beauty. So I'm kind of well versed, I would say, in probably every sort of industry that I guess I work in. Might not necessarily do it well, but hey ho, I know the basics.
But that's great. I mean, because obviously with your experience at the moment, knowing how the industry works, understanding pain points from business owners as well about what they're looking to achieve. Obviously, you've then gone on to launch the agency under the same name, Rochelle White Agency. Where does that kind of bring? What do you guys do?
So what we do is we effectively help brands tell their story and build their narrative within the press. So whether they want to be seen as experts, whether they just want to showcase their salon, their skills, their team, if they launch products, we like to work with them as closely as possible. So whatever their business goals are, say for the year, all of our activity effectively matches what they're trying to achieve. And all salons and all businesses are very different. Some might literally just want to be featured in trade. Some will want to go across consumer. Some might want to do both. Some might just literally want to get their salon owner or the salon owners, depending on who own it, in the public eye as experts. So it really does depend. So we tend to work with brands as closely as possible to basically maximize everything that they're trying to do. So then it's basically a harmony thing. I don't believe in just sort of doing what we do just to go, oh yeah, I suppose we've got like the odd placement. It's basically really enhancing that business and that brand. And that's basically what we do across the board for everyone that we work with. That's one of my key things.
So you want to try and get into the nitty-gritty, find a story, create an angle with your clients?
Yeah, and like it's creating an angle, and it's finding out again if they have actually got something interesting to say, or for example, if their business is slightly unique. Now, as we all know, all hairdressers pretty much the same. They all do hair, same as beauty. However, there's a reason why they are slightly different. What is that reason? And if we can pull that out and then explain it in a way that relates to whether it's trade or consumer, or they've just literally got an interesting story, we like to help tell that story, but in the right way, not just, oh yeah, it's great, this is an owner and this is a salon, because most people will probably like, okay, yeah, it's a hairdresser's. But then if your hairdresser, I don't know, you worked for, I don't know, somewhere in Milan, and then you traveled to like Japan and China, and then you thought you'd come back here and start a salon, to me that's an interesting story, because how did you even get to Japan in the first place?
So how difficult does that become, extracting that information? Because it's quite a unique way to work with salons.
I mean, I'm generally just a nosy person. I ask questions because I've always been taught, if you don't ask,
You're a people person. You like meeting people. I know that for a fact.
yeah. And I'm nosy. So for me, if I did work, well, not if, when I do work with people, I like to understand sort of who they are as a person, number one, because I am generally interested. I don't just ask the question and then brush over it. Then what I do is listen. A lot of people don't listen. They listen with this. It said, oh, I listen to this. So if someone says, oh, I started doing this and I kind of saw there was a gap in market, then I'll take out the little nuggets of what they say. And then I'll say to them, have you considered maybe telling your brand story? And something, but it's boring. It's not a story. And I'm like, you sure about that? Because I think that there's something there. So again, it's just basically sitting down, listening, and again, just understanding that if they're happy to tell that story, where's that best place to be? But most of the time, it is literally just listening. That's the key thing.
Of course. And you've been doing this for some time. When did you launch the business?
So originally launched in 2015 under the name Rochelle White PR, because I thought personally all I did was PR. Lo and behold, a few years down the line, many business mentors later, they sort of said to me, you do more than PR, right? And I was like, do I? They're like, yeah. And they're like, we feel like the name kind of limits you to just, people will just associate all you do is PR. So I rebranded to agency because we do literally cover the whole range, but we'll be 6 years old this year in June.
Okay.
So I'm pretty proud of myself.
So just when we're coming out of lockdown, out of the pandemic, June 21st apparently is when you celebrate your birthday as well, which is amazing news. Talking about the pandemic, how has that affected your business? Have you had to pivot the business? Have you had to change things around? What's the story?
To be fair, I can honestly say it has been really up and down and an absolute mix, because when it first sort of hit, my first initial reaction was, oh my God, I'm probably going to lose, if not all, most of my clients, because as we all know, PR outsourcing to any sort of person, whether it's a graphic designer or an agency, it's a luxury in a way, because you can recuperate that cost, you can save it. So I thought, my God, I'm going to lose all my clients. But then my initial panic was probably for about 2 days. And then I spoke to one of my business mentors and he basically said, you're either going to sink or swim. So what are you going to do? He's like, think of all the things that you can help people with. So I effectively, I done 3 Zoom calls to lost clients, potential clients, current clients, and anyone I wanted to work with. So even people that I was just speaking to, I was like, listen, we have no idea what the hell is going to happen, but I'm happy to advise you on communication, whether it's to your own customers or your clients. So I done that. Then I actually took the whole of last year, as much as looking after clients. I mean, I was going into salon databases. I was helping them basically text clients, create their email marketing, you name it, I done it. I mean, it was great because I've used sort of like iSalon and things like that before when I worked in salons. So I was very comfortable with doing it. But some of these people had never really used it to that extent. So they were like, okay, we've got social media, but they're like, some of our customers aren't on. So how, and I'm like, don't panic, guys. I was like, we got this. So I really went above and beyond to help people and understand what that communication should look like, what it does look like. I also got a mix of clients, genuine people I know that are like, say, mums or people that work from home in like Tala, got them in Heat, got them in Closer magazine, talking about how to look after your nails, look after your hair, fringe trims, colours. So I literally thought to myself, what can I do to help? So I guess I pivoted in that sense because I generally just went above and beyond for so many people. In regards to our business, now I had a lot of plans to grow massively, to rebrand, and ideally I wanted to take on some festivals. Thanks to obviously COVID, none of that really happened apart from the rebrand, but I took the time to sit back, look at my business and actually think to myself, right, how do I want to be looked at? What do I want to do? What services do we enjoy doing? So I really used that time to literally reassess my whole business, the structure, how I wanted to grow moving forward, what moving forward will look like post COVID. Because at the time I was thinking, oh yeah, by like July,
it'll be over. Yeah.
I'll be going carnival, like it'll be great. And then obviously salons slowly opened then. And then when they were like pending, you know, there could be potentially be another lockdown, everything I kept thinking is right. So I have to basically just be aware of what's happening, but also be mindful of what I can realistically achieve. So I guess I pivoted, and I basically really looked at my whole business, redone business plans, redone structure, strategy, everything.
So in a way, it's good. In a way, it's a good thing. I mean, we've done that ourselves. We've looked at how the business runs. What can we do better? We're looking, I mean, it's a year, effectively. It'll be a year in a couple of weeks' time. March 23rd, I think it was, that we probably went into lockdown for the first time, or 21st, whatever the date was. And effectively, you know, from our point of view now, it's how can we relaunch? What can we do better? You know, what wasn't working, what was working, and how can we restructure some things to make us stronger, and more resilient? You know, what did you find with some of your clients? Were their top pain points?
A lot of them, I think what I found that they had found became apparent to them is that a lot of them had these systems which they actually didn't actually understand or utilize. So they would have said, like, yeah, you know, we have got this salon software. I always use iSalon because a lot of my clients, that's what they have. I know there's others, but that's what they have. And they were sort of like, well, I don't know how to use it. And I was like, so how did you use it before? Like, well, you put their name in, put their addressing, their color or whatever they had, and effectively left it. So a lot of them we found was things like email marketing, they didn't really utilize. And then when we were going through the databases, a lot of them were like, oh my God, this person hasn't been in for months. This person has been in for a year. So I said, do you not sort of review, like any CRM system, do you not review how often they come in, what their loyalty looks like? I said, do you have loyalty points? Do you send them birthday texts or emails? And then a lot of them were like, oh my God, I guess we've never thought about it. So it was really nice because there was it sounds awful because obviously COVID hasn't been great for many people or many businesses, but for some of them, it really made them sit down, and it was nice to work with clients so closely where they were like, oh, well, what can we do in regards to, say, if we bring on new customers? And I was like, well, you put them into your system. You can even send them a welcome email, a welcome text, do incentives. So they either tell their friends, or because they're new, they get, I don't know, 3 lots or something. So whatever works for you guys and what can attract them back, or what would make them recommend to their friends or family. So it was nice sort of planning, helping them do that. And then a lot of them also realised that, again, they might have had blogs, but might have not been updated literally in years. Some were literally years, some were months. Some were people saying, I don't even know what we could blog about. And I was like, you've got a whole team of people. And then they were like, oh, we should do like TikTok, but we can do hair videos or nail transformations. So they really started to embrace and look at other ways that they can utilize the tools that were out there, the contacts and customers that they had, but it's because they had the time to actually sit back and do that. And I feel like what they realize is not utilizing social media, because unfortunately a lot of them didn't. Not utilizing their actual customers and using them as their content, because a lot of people don't think about using as in user generated content, use your own customers, and things like just their normal CRM system. It all just sort of fell flat. So it was quite nice actually that they've realized that it's like, in a way, it's the way forward. And a lot of them have adapted it, and that's built into their everyday practice now, which is great.
Yeah, it's quite scary, actually. You mentioned a lot of people spend a fortune, and they're not cheap. CRM systems that are out there, the good ones, are not cheap, but they should also work for you as a business. So you should actually generate revenue from those CRM systems by using, as you say, email marketing, text messaging, even cleaning up reports to understand who are your top clients, what are they doing. That's low-hanging fruit that you need to be sitting there and saying, okay, brilliant, these are my regular clients. We've got these guys. They trust us as a business, and they believe in what we do. So to utilize their, if you like, information or their knowledge or even their product purchases to create a new strategy, to be able to say, really, this is how we're going to market to this audience in lockdown, maybe even create a new revenue stream with regards to that. That's quite interesting to actually hear, how many salons are not staying in touch with their clients while they're closed.
And I
finding that a lot.
And I think it is a shame, to be honest, just purely because I think so many people, and it does go across the board, but I see it a lot in salons or even people that work for themselves. Instead of looking after the customers that they've actually got, they're too worried about trying to get the new ones in, the new ones, new customer. And I'm thinking, if you look after that one customer really well, they end up spending more money. Not only that, They will then recommend people, which will then spend, they will then spend money. So really from one customer, you can generate a higher income if you look after them. But a lot of people are always like, I need to do 10% off. I need to do a new client offer. I need to do this. No, you don't.
Yeah.
If you use your CRM properly, as you said, you will know who your top customers are. If ones were coming regularly and then they tailed off, is there something wrong? Maybe they've lost their job. Maybe they don't have an income. You don't know, but you only don't know if you don't reach out to them. So I feel like if you utilize what you've got and look after the customers that you have, it will bring in more money. Then you can understand what their buying patterns are. Maybe a lot of people aren't coming in, say, for gel nail extensions. Maybe they want more acrylic. Maybe acrylic has completely died out. You're still offering it and people just want gel. Maybe people don't want hair extensions anymore. They want to go more natural. Know that if you don't utilize the systems that you've got. So I think it's really important, because then you can actually cut services and put that money into building up potentially a more popular one. That's my, well, I say it's my theory, but it does work, because
of course
I've
it does.
seen it with people. So yeah.
I can't stand it whenever I see that on a window outside of salon. New client offer. Hold on, I come to you every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks. I spend X amount of money with you. This new person who's only coming to that salon because there's a 20% off, and then they're probably going to go and scout for a new salon that's offering another 20% off, or they'll only go to that salon on a Wednesday because they're offering this deal. It's like, well, what about your regulars, your bread and butter that are supporting you? You're kind of penalizing them for being a regular client.
Yeah.
So it doesn't become fair for, why not focus on creating a loyalty scheme or some benefits for those guests for their support? I mean, at the end of the day, they're the ones who are supporting you. They're the ones who are paying your bills effectively and putting food on the table. And this is what it's quite scary how many forget that. So at the moment, I mean, how important, salons are closed UK wide, how important is marketing at the moment?
Me personally, I think it's, in a way, it's priceless. It really is. You've got so many things. And again, even if you pay out for a database and things like social media, you've got tools that you can actually use and utilize technically without costing you anything else than what you're paying. If you already paid out for your CRM system, or even if you pay it monthly, you're already paying for that. So it's not an additional cost. If you have Instagram, if you have TikTok, if you have Facebook, email marketing, you have all those tools. You had it before coronavirus. So why are you not utilizing them? I think people just assume because they're closed, a lot of them were like, we've got nothing to say. We've got nothing to say. We've got nothing to market. I personally think that's wrong, because deep down, there will be customers out there like thinking, well, my hair's grown out loads. I'm just going to wax a box collar on because I think I can. Or, oh, my gel nails are awful. Oh, actually, I'll just go on Amazon or eBay. I'll buy some gels, I'll buy a lamp, and I'll just do my nails. You should really be advising them, even if you're saying, listen, guys, yes, there's loads of stuff out there you can buy. But at the same time, we would recommend that you say, go to Sally's or Boots and buy acetone and soak it off this way. Then you prep the nail, you do this. There's so much advice you can give. And also you want to stay in your customer's mind. So regardless of, you're not selling hair, but what else do you have? What is your team doing? Have you had team catch-ups? Are you doing training? Have you found a new product range you're going to be stocking? There's just so much stuff that people can be marketed and marketing. But some of them just don't. They just go, oh, well, we're closed. So okay, that's all going. But that's, your customers are just going to find someone else or look at another salon, look at all the content that they're putting out and think, well, that salon's really on the ball. Because as soon as you're out of your customer's mind, when you reopen, to get that engagement back and to get them back is going to be hard. As we all know, if some people have lost their jobs and they don't have disposable income, potentially they won't come back to a salon. And if they do go back to a salon, they could be looking again for a bargain. They could literally, as you said, shopping around, just find whoever's got 10% off. So you could have lost that one person if you just didn't communicate. You could do incentives like, guys, we know it's been really hard. So anyone that books in for a colour and cut, or just a cut and finish, or just for their nails doing, or for their brows, add some value to that appointment. Do you know what I mean? It's little things like that, but it doesn't have to cost the earth. As long as it doesn't make the business or you go out of pocket, it shouldn't be a problem. But I think people just don't think like that. They just go in that whole, I ain't got nothing to say. I can't post beauty pictures. I can't post lips. I can't do nails. I can't do brows. I can't do hair. I'm not going to say anything. And then
and then their
Also,
engagement rate totally drops down through all of the, and you're totally out of sight, out of mind straight away.
100%. And
Yeah.
I also think, so I just want to say one other thing, because I have noticed this has been a recurring thing. Obviously, you can feel free to edit this bit out. But I've noticed that a lot of salons and I guess people within the hair and beauty industry have been doing a lot of these pyramid scheme products selling. I don't know if you've seen them.
Right, like the Body Shop and the bits and
Yeah.
without
And
mentioning too many brands.
yeah, so they've been sort of pushing, and there has been a whole range, but they've been focusing on pushing that. And I'm thinking, if you put the time and effort you put into selling a pyramid scheme, because effectively that's what it is, and their products, if you put that into your own business and promoting it the way you're promoting those, you'd be in a better position. Because I'm sure when your salon opens, or if you start working for yourself again, not being funny, those products aren't going to be your priority. Your priority is going to be bums on seats, whether you're hair or beauty, or laying on a bed, because they're going to be paying your bills. But
it's a scary thought.
It is, yeah.
And the returns, to be honest, on those pyramid schemes are so little that you're actually sitting there, because everyone else is doing it now as well, and you're sitting there thinking, what's the point? But not only that, you're devaluing I personally think you're devaluing your brand by doing that massively. Because maybe your brand's not good enough, so you need another brand.
Yeah, I actually muted, and this is just on my personal Instagram, I've muted probably about 10 girls, because pretty much the content is exactly the same. Obviously, it must be some formula that they all have. Their images are all the same. And in my head, I'm like, I'd never buy into that. And now the fact that you're doing it, not only does that make me think, oh, so you're going to start stocking that in your salon. It's not a salon brand. It's not rated highly. Why am I going to go to you? Because now I'm going to think, if I sit in your chair, all you're going to do is try and push these products away. Use this, be a rep. No, just no. So it's a real shame. But I think, again, they see it as, oh, I can make money. But if you literally just promoted as well and marketed yourself as well as you do those products, to me, it doesn't make any sense. You're just pushing something that's not really going to pay off. Look after your clients and your business.
And that is kind of the be all and end all, So working with some of the clients that you've got at the moment, you've been working with throughout lockdown. I mean, what are the game changers that they've created?
So I think a lot of them that they've done is, I think a lot of them have actually just embraced who they are as a business and a brand. So they've become much clearer in all of their communication. A lot of them as well have, I guess, I don't know how I can say in regards to game changing, but I suppose they've embraced things like, and this is not for everyone, but some of them have really embraced TikTok, which has actually increased their overall reach and engagement with their customers. And they've also attracted new business. So I know that when they're open, a lot of people have actually said, oh yeah, I've seen you on TikTok, your hair was amazing. Some of them, I guess, have just been pumping out really good content in a way, and really strong advice. And if I've helped them sort of, like, obviously with yourself, I helped you get on like Channel 5 and Talk Radio, to then add that into all of your marketing and PR mix, and then you're really stretching that out, so it's going on your social media, and you can email it to your clients, and you can blog about it, and you can say you were seen here. To me, it's just constantly reinforcing who you are and what you do. So then when you do reopen, you're going to be well ahead of the other salons and ahead of the game, really, because you're already starting to go upwards, as in we're not just staying static, we're going. So I think it's just, again, utilizing everything that's around you and speaking to people. I think they're the people that are going to have the biggest game change, because people are going to know who they are. So when they open, they're going to think, oh my God, we have to pump out like 20 posts. Yeah, because basically they're thinking, I haven't done anything this whole time. Now we're open. It's just going to be like hair, nails, lashes, hair, nail, lashes, tan.
And there's no content story. There's no kind of structure to any of this. And now, I mean, there's light at the end of the tunnel, apparently. On April the 5th, we get to find out, fingers crossed, that we can reopen, hopefully on April the 12th. The scary thing at the moment, though, is, from what I'm seeing, is how many people are marketing that they are 100% reopening on the 12th of April, taking bookings, and then they don't know just exactly what happened in July last year.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my clients, a lot of them are very smart, and I've always said, unless it's a full-on concrete date. So they've said, right, you can 100% open your doors on that day. I said the only thing I would recommend is to make a priority list, which a lot of them already do. And a lot of them have said from December onwards, those were the people that missed out those appointments. They're always going to be a priority. And a lot of their communication has been with potentially opening on the 12th, pending what the government says. They've been quite clear. But again, even on my work Instagram, personal Facebook, the amount of people are like, yeah, I've got bookings from the 12th. I can't wait to open. And I'm like, you should be really careful, because if that does not happen, that means not only have you got a backlog from December and January and February and now March, you're then going to have all those people that assumed they were coming in on the 12th onwards going, well, I need a priority now because you said I was coming in on the 12th. It just gets really messy. I think communication is key across anything that you do. So as long as you're making it clear, it is potential, we're making a list. Priority is always going to be those people from December onwards, and then we'll fit in whatever. I think that's better than making a promise that you're definitely going to open. I think that personally, I think it's a big mistake.
Yeah, it's scary. And then you're just making a rod for your own back, really, and creating even more work to do. I mean, could you imagine having to call all of those clients all over again and say, do you know what, I'm really sorry, we kind of got to start from fresh again, and you're now to the back of the queue.
Yeah. Then what will happen is customers could potentially then get annoyed, they could get upset, and then it all goes to that whole thing. Because again, it's always going to come back down to your marketing and your communication. So if you are letting those people down, we all know you have one bad experience, they're going to be going, well, I don't want to go to Jane Doe down the road because she said to me I was going to be number one. And the next thing you know, that one person's told five, those five, and then it snowballs. Just be really clear in every.
And that is the biggest thing at the moment. So what should salons be doing right now? We've got what, 6 weeks, I think it is, until the actual 5th of April. No, it's not. It's probably 4 weeks until the announcement as whether or not we can. My God, that's gone quick. Whether or not we can reopen on time. What should salons be doing now? I mean, give me 5 things that you feel, or even 3 things that salons should be preparing right now.
So I think the key thing would be right now is still just keeping engaged with their customer. I still think that's going to be number one. So whatever medium they choose to do, whether it's across the whole board, like with their CRM system, with their email marketing, their texting, social media, just keep your customers up to date. Produce good, strong content that is relevant, helpful tips, really dip into your arsenal of what you potentially can tell your customers, right? Treat it in a way as if the salon's already open. That's my theory. On top of that, I think again as well is prepare to also not prepare. And that sounds really weird, but prepare if you are going to open on the 12th, that when you are open, you are ready to go. So you're fully stocked, your salon is super clean, because really there's no excuse for a salon to be dirty right now. Make sure your salon's clean, staff and everyone is prepped and ready to go. Get yourself and your team ready, invest in training. So make sure you're prepared. So if you are ready to go, you can go. My third one would be if you are not if you're not going to open because of what the government says, is to basically have a plan B, a plan C, and ongoing. So you need to think to yourself, right, if we do open, I know salon's clean, we're fully stocked, the girls are busy, or the boys or whoever work with you, it's all we're all ready. If not, what does that communication look like? Hi guys, sadly we can't open because of X, Y, and Z. Don't worry, we're still here. We've still got a priority list. Just bear with us. Think of ways that you can still engage with them, because no one knows. Everyone is assuming, and it's with the whole guidelines, that everything's going to happen to date. Now, the government never said that's what's going to happen. That's their outline, which I think they made clear. So I think just to plan and not plan. If you are going to open, be 100% ready. If not, have a plan B, C, D, or whatever, so you know that you can then offer something.
Yeah, totally. It's imperative. And now is the best time. And you've got, 3-4 weeks, even, 4.5 weeks to plan. You've had a year off, guys. Come on. This is your time now to really structure what you're doing, even getting marketing email templates ready. Write them up. An email marketing campaign shouldn't really take, to someone who isn't experienced, shouldn't take 20 minutes to do. It should be a good few hours to structure, look at it, and then get someone else to proofread it.
100%.
see what
I
someone
think
else feels about it.
I think there's nothing wrong, again, with doing things like that, just forward planning. So if you are going to have templates and stuff, just draft them up, get them designed. If you're not sure, as you said, get someone to check them. If you want to learn to do email marketing in your system, or even using other things, excuse me, you can use Canva. Get used to using Canva. And I do agree with you. You've had nearly a year off. So Myers, there's no excuses. If you do want to sit there and sort of go, oh, I don't know how to do that, I don't know how to use my system, you didn't utilize your time very well. That's what it comes down to. And I don't want that to sound harsh, but at the end of the day, this is your business. If it's your bread and butter, you should be finding the best ways and the best tools to help you do that. If you don't, it's your own fault to a certain extent. You can't keep blaming the situation. Like if you've got salons that, again, as you said, don't pump out content and don't update their customers, they can't go, oh, well, it was down to COVID, where you had all those tools. There was no cost. You could
and if
learn.
you've still got your Christmas tree in your salon, I think now's a good time to take it out.
Oh God,
have you seen that as well? Sorry if that's you, but you know, it's really about showing people that you're still around. I've seen quite a few salons that have still got Christmas writing on the windows, and it's like, guys, we're in March now. Yeah, it just shows that you have been to your salon. You know, make some fresh stuff. You know, you've got spring now happening. Maybe even create a new window display. Mother's Day's around the corner. How are you going to capitalize on Mother's Day? Yeah, and all these little important things that are in place. And then you've got Easter. Yeah. It's really about making sure, yes, we're not open for these little festivals or little holiday seasons, but how can you capitalize on it? Gift cards is the #1 thing that we're always pushing all year round. I mean, the amount of, so we do so many gift cards. I've actually bought a gift card making machine because it's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, we do gift cards all year round. It's to the point of it's ridiculous that you know, online we're selling gift cards minimum 5 or 6 every single day of gift cards.
Wow.
The crazy thing is that gift card is in someone's house, is in someone's pocket, it's in someone's handbag. You've got your branding in that person's presence basically all the time, and they are, to any salons out there that are not using gift cards, seriously, you guys really need to invest in gift cards. It is a no-brainer basically. And I think there was a statistic I read recently that most people that buy a gift card buy it for a certain value. The bearer of the gift card then comes in and spends more money on top of that gift card.
Yeah,
got a new customer.
I fully agree with that. And it's like little things like maybe review your price list or your design or your branding. Like it doesn't have to cost the earth. Like as I said, some people can do all of their branding just using Canva.
Yeah.
Like I know Canva does get a bad rap.
Actually, what is, just so those that don't know what Canva is.
Oh yeah, of course. So Canva is effectively, it's a designing platform. So you can do everything from logo design to story templates to, you can put in your own logo, you can brand up your stories, your Instagram.
I think they do video on there as well now, don't they?
You can do video, you can even do, I think, if I last time I remembered, I think you can even do a graphic for Facebook and Instagram and put music on top of it. So you can really, as in, brand your business without having to say, pay a designer. And if you've got young people in your team that are quite savvy, especially with TikTok, because young people love TikTok, as I'm learning.
I think you do as well.
I think
you do as well.
I do. I'm not going to lie. I do. I'm a watcher. I'm not a dancer.
Okay.
But I think a lot of young people, they can adapt to those things quite quickly. They pick things up quite quickly. So even if you have a receptionist or a junior and you want to utilize them, ask them, have you used Canva before? Do you know what it is? Would you be prepared to do it? I mean, there's so many things that people can do, even with gift vouchers. I'm sure they could find someone to research it if they didn't quite know or didn't want to do it themselves. To me, it's not hard. It's just applying yourself to do that. But some people, unfortunately, just don't take that to do it. It's like, oh, it's an excuse. I can't do it. I can't sell gift vouchers. I can't. Why?
But the other thing is what to think about, going back to the CRM system. Most CRM systems I know have got a team behind to help you utilize it better, because it's a benefit to them, because obviously they're going to keep you as a customer for longer if you're using it and it's creating revenue for you. So don't be scared to contact your supplier, your CRM system provider, and say, I need training on this. I need to understand how to use it a bit better. maybe get your team refreshed on using it
Yeah.
as well. That's the other thing. So Rochelle, now with obviously you've pivoted a lot, what does the future look like? What new tools have you launched for your business?
So, oh God, so I guess new tools that we've launched is we've seen just over the past few years that how we work and the cost of how agencies are is quite high for any small or even new business, let alone someone who completely works on their own. Hence why a lot of them don't even have CRM systems, because the cost is just too high for some people to justify. So in regards to marketing and PR, I've looked at basically how we can help, what people look for in that help, and where we can basically give our expertise and our opinion and our not opinions, our skills and our knowledge. So we've created basically a platform that can help small businesses basically PR and market themselves at
Okay.
such a reasonable cost that it's not going to cost the earth to do that. If that makes sense.
So where would that give someone? I mean, what can someone get out of that?
So they would get the basic knowledge and understanding of what PR and marketing is and how it can help their business. On top of that, it would provide them with genuine PR opportunities that are not found, say, on Twitter or on, like, say, a random free database. These are people that we either speak to on a daily basis that we just don't have clients that suit, or they've already spoken to our client and they might want someone else. So they've got genuine PR contacts and opportunities. They can build their own database.
So you're opening up your little black book, are you? Is that what it means?
Pretty much, not to everyone, because obviously our it's all about, you know, our clients get that special treatment, but they basically get a little taste, and then also they have the support of an actual agency, but again without the cost.
Yeah.
So we'll happily do pre-recorded Q&As, we'll do videos on basically what PR is and what the difference between PR and marketing is, how they can use it, how they can utilize it. If they need help on documents and templates, we've been doing this for so long. We have so much stuff that we could literally just pop in the group. So it's a real benefit to them if they generally want to take it to that next level.
Yeah,
because
but they have to also put the work in as well.
Yes, it's not something they can't just sort of, and we say this even to our agency clients, PR is not something that you just place once and then you're like, oh yeah, we're going to be sold out, we're going to be fully booked. Fabulous. It's a long-term investment and it's a long-term thing. So again, if you are an owner and you've got time to invest in it, perfect. If you work with someone who's got a receptionist and they can help you out and they have quite an interest in the whole social media marketing PR side of things, there's nothing wrong with why they're sitting on the desk. Yes, they are greeting their customers and asking for their tea and coffee or however they work, but I'm sure there's a way that they could work together to make it and maximize what they need to do until they get a better understanding. Because I think people don't have an understanding. They sort of go, we're ready to outsource. They outsource without knowing. It's either costing them a lot of money and then they're going, I'm not seeing no value in this whatsoever, or they've just got someone who's running away with it, and then they're like, oh my God,
It's not where we want to be. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to be there. They've got our tone wrong, they've got our message wrong, the social media is a mess. It's because they haven't been clear and they haven't defined what they want and need. So it's all just
told their story properly.
They've let someone you want to do this, right? Okay, cool. Right, we're just gonna run with it. And they don't know. So they're kind of in the loop but out. And then it all just gets a bit messy. So then everyone has quite a negative connotation when it comes to marketing agencies or even social media agencies. Yeah, they're rubbish, they don't work. And I'm like, but they don't work because did you work with them and vice versa? It's a 50-50 relationship. It's not 20-30, it's 50-50. You have to put the work in and so do they.
So give me some examples of how this has really worked. So perhaps you've done this with a client and what you've achieved from it.
Yeah, so one of my clients, I'm based in Milton Keynes, and I don't know, should I name them or not? Sorry.
I don't see why not. Give them a free plug.
So I've worked with a salon called Body Light based in Milton Keynes, and done a lot of basically little bits of PR, getting their expertise across. Now, back in 2000, I have to think it is 2019, yeah, because 20 was last year. It was Love Island was on, and one of my PR contacts literally messaged me and said, "Rosh, we just need a waxing expert." Now, I know she works across many titles, and I know she works for good ones, but she wasn't specific. She's like, "I'm working on this piece. I need an expert comment basically on waxing and hair removal." So I said, no problem. I reached out to them, literally got back to me straight away because they're very good like that. And I sort of just sent it, sounds awful, and just not forgot about it. But I was like, yeah, we've done that, it's done. Next thing you know, she goes, oh, here's the link. It ended up on Women's Health magazine. Then it ended up on Glamour. Then it went to Cosmo. And I was like, oh, then it went to Pretty 52, which then recently branded to Tala. And it kind of just went everywhere. So I don't want to say it went viral, but it went way more places than generally what we thought. I just sort of done, it's a small little piece of article. It'll be in a national title, but it won't be that much. It got picked up everywhere, Daily Mail. So they got so much traffic. And I remember she sent me a screenshot of bookings the same time period of when we placed that, say the year before to then, and she was like, we are fully booked now until the end of September. Wow. And it's really interesting because consumers, whether or not people even read the article, if they say seen in Vogue, seen in Cosmo, it sounds awful, they don't really care whether or not you're good. They're just going, well, if Vogue is saying that they're good, I've got to go and book because apparently they're good. They could be really crap, but they've just had very good PR. Not my client, I'm good at what I do. Let's make that clear. So as consumers, we're very fickle. You can literally say you've been seen everywhere. You could actually give the worst service, but it doesn't matter because the perception is if the press are talking about you, you must be an expert or good at what you do. So they had quite a good traction, and we placed in various different magazines for different topics, whether it was hair removal, whether it was waxing, whether it was nails, whether it was how to care for your nails during lockdown. So they've always been the salon that's an expert opinion salon, not as in pushing their salon per se. It's more, we're very high up in what we do, and this is what we specialize in, laser and hair removal. So that was always the avenue we went down, and anything else was an additional plus. Sure. So it's been quite beneficial to them. And I think they've realized where the value of PR comes in. And it's not necessarily sometimes down to, yes, it was nice that they got fully booked. That was never their aim. Their aim was to get known for what they were good at, and effectively sales came from that. That makes sense.
And it's also then up to the salon to continue to keep that business moving and those new clients as well. But it's never guaranteed. And this is the scary thing that people seem to think, do you know what, I'm going to invest time in marketing or advertising. They still need to perform the service to the best of their abilities and deliver, you know, at the end of the day. Because as you mentioned at the beginning, word gets around really, really quickly. You know, I know you know, I've worked with you for some time now. I see your passion for the industry. I know some of the clients you work with, but you also give back so much as well to the industry, which is, it's a beautiful thing at the moment, and especially at the moment of downturn, and people are feeling a bit negative at the moment and fearful of what the future is at the moment. You know, how does someone reach out to you? How can they get in contact with you?
Best way to get in contact with me, I would always say, is just visit the website, which is just literally www.rochellewhiteagency.com.
I'll put the links below as well.
Oh, thank you very much. Whether it's email, so they can email newbusiness@rochellewhiteagency.com, or even just send me a DM and say where they've seen me, so at least I kind of know where they've come from. Sure. The majority of the time, website is easiest.
Are you on TikTok as well? Can they reach you on TikTok?
Oh my God, yes, I am. It's just Rochelle, everything is basically Rochelle White Agency. So TikTok is fine, apart from Twitter, because it was basically too long for a handle. So I think it's let me double check. I think it's RWA_agency. I think. Let me just double check that one. Yeah, it is.
I'll put all the links below anyway. But and that's another important thing, to make sure all of your handles are exactly the same. I see so many different handles for the same business. And confusion just appears, and you're sitting there going, well, which one is it? How do we find them on Google if we do a search? You're not gonna.
The
other thing.
It's about a lot of people really underestimate communication, because effectively your PR, your marketing, your advertising, your social media, it all comes under communication.
Yeah.
So say if I was called, say, Rochelle White Salon, and then I was Rochelle Salon, and then I was Salon Rochelle or whatever, it's so inconsistent. You're right, people are going to be like, so is that the same salon?
Yeah.
It's different.
But also having your logo
know.
across all the platforms identical, so that way
Yes.
you're also able to see that there's a continuity there as well, which a lot of people fall short on as well. So okay, so look, let's wrap this up now.
Yep.
What do you recommend everyone does now moving? You mentioned, sorting out your treatment menus and checking your emails and everything else. Give me one little nugget that people should do right away, right now, as soon as they've finished watching this video. Go do this.
Do you know what I would actually say, which I think personally, I think would be very, very beneficial for salons moving forward, is if they can, if they've got reports, pull those reports off to see what services bring you in the most money. The ones that aren't bringing you any revenue, get rid of them and focus on the ones that bring you more money. Because at the end of the day, and I don't want to make this about money, you've effectively been closed for nearly a year with little intermittence of opening. So why not, instead of trying to focus on filling everything that you do, look at what brings in more money. So if you bring in more money, basically doing nails and brows, then you need to constantly push that with the additions at the bottom. If some services haven't been booked in months, and do you know what? Maybe it's not worth pushing them. If no one's booking in for pedicures, manicures, well, actually, everyone wants a manicure and a pedicure.
Everyone wants a pedicure.
I know I do.
Yeah, of course. If you've got those treatments that are not really, even products though, what's the point of carrying products that are not selling? It's just a waste of time. And then most of those products are going to have reached their sell-by date by now anyway, because you've been shut for a year. Why are you going to restock products that don't sell?
So that's what I was going to say. Look at your services and look at your products, because at the end of the day, in my eyes, you want to have a leaner, slicker business. You want to make as much money as possible. So no point holding on to really dead stock and dead services. It's a complete waste. And I think if you have utilized this year and you can utilize your CRM, like even with us as an agency, I have brought in new services, but also this year, I'm going to review it after 6 to 8 months, because anything that's not bringing me in money, the service is effectively going to go, because I'm not going to try and push something that's not going to make us money. Same with salons. Focus on the bits and the products that make you that money. And also look at your customers, really understand their buying patterns. Are they going on holiday? Like we all know, we don't know if you're going to have a vaccine or not when you travel, but you have to go on the notion that if we don't, how many holidays are potentially going to get booked? Are people going to want their waxing, their pedicures, manicures all in one booking? Is it worth doing a package? So you bring in that whole money, but you're doing free and you're adding value. It's trying to predict those trends, but without predicting too much that then you narrow yourself down.
But those reports that you spoke about are really going to show that. And don't be scared to write them into a spreadsheet. And show those reports, over the year, or not this year, obviously, but over the years you've been trading, to see if there are any trends that you can pull out, and even focus your marketing on those as well. Especially with your email campaigns, which are free through your CRM system. Rochelle, thank you.
Utilize everything you have as a salon owner. That would be my advice generally moving forward. Yes, think about the money long term, but if you utilize what you've got now and you plan and then you execute, that money will come. There's no point randomly going, oh, I guess I'll throw up a Groupon, because I think,
please don't do that.
I fully agree with that. But my point is, don't look at things to try and get in the new clients. Basically use what you've got right now and plan for that. Anything else additional, to me, it's an additional benefit, whether it's something new or recommendation. So just plan well. Then
and talking of planning, how far in advance should people plan? I mean, me, myself, and we advertise, do engagement, do everything all year round, whether we're open or closed, whatever the season. But we also plan about a quarter in advance. So what are you recommending people should be doing? I mean, as a business, we're now looking, brilliant, we're going to open, summer's here, but let's look beyond summer, because it's going to be a mad rush. How are we going to plan for Christmas? In my mind.
So again, how we look and how we work with clients is, we'll take everything by the year, then we'll break it down into quarters, and then we'll break that down slower. So then we'll say to salons, like, again, okay, so we might potentially open in April. If we do, what does that look like, and how far do you want to plan ahead? Now, you have to also be extremely mindful of what's happening within the economy in the world. Now, my biggest thing is you don't want to plan too far ahead, but if you're going to think about Christmas, because potentially we're going to go back to semi-normality, because I'm sure there'll be some sort of restriction somewhere. We go on the notion that Christmas is going to be normal. What does that then look like? Are you going to do packages? Are you going to get people to book in earlier because there could potentially be more Christmas parties? You have to try and, I guess, plan in a way, thinking if we are something back to normal, what did our old normal look like? So when did we start to get booked up? If that was the case, we maybe need to potentially look at opening the diary from them. If you've got Christmas products, when do they need to be in to then start being promoted? So then in theory, they're sold out by December. But again, looking at your reports, and again, just forward planning, being aware of what's going on, always have an A, B, C, and thanks to COVID, I think D, E, F, C, G. Just go down the alphabet until one sticks. But yeah, just plan enough. So if you do open, you know what that's going to look like for the next few months after that. And then from there, then you start to look at, I'd probably just say do it 2 to 3 months in advance at this precise moment.
Yeah.
Purely because you don't want to get ahead of yourself, start booking people in like July, August, September. And I really hope not, but we don't know. The government might turn around and say, actually, summer's cancelled. July, you're going to have to close until September, because then all that hard work is effectively gone.
Yeah.
So just plan as far as you can, but be aware. And my advice, read your trade magazines, read the news, not the negative stuff, but understand what's happening within the economy sector. That's my thing.
That's massive. And of course, we've got a big budget happening on Wednesday, which I'm sure every salon owner is going to be glued to the TV set about, which we're also really excited about. So there's lots to plan for, lots to look forward to. Rochelle White, you have been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. And once again, everyone can hit you up through your website, RochelleWhiteAgency.com.
I'm a comma.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you very soon. Thanks, my love. Bye.